Hello, everybody. This is Daniel and Kelly from fitnessblender.com, here to answer another one of your questions.
So today, first, we're busting the top 5 fitness myths out there. There are a lot of them, so it's kind of hard to pick, but these are the best 5 that we came up with.
So we're starting in order of number 5 up to number 1. So number 5 is cardio for weight loss.
So a lot of people out there think that it's cardio, 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 and then later you go to toning or strength training, and that's just not how it works. If you end up doing only cardio, you're going to end up lowering your resting metabolism, which is going to make it very hard for you to stay at a healthy body weight long term.
Cardio is definitely one of those things that is highly overrated. So if you're being told that you should do only cardio for weight loss, whoever's telling you that doesn't know what they're doing. So you need a good combination of all kinds of different things, especially strength training, and high-intensity interval training, if you're capable of doing it, is also a really, really good one for weight loss.
Women, don't worry about bulking up. Lift as heavy as you can, and I promise you that you're going to like the results.
Number 4 is spot reduction.
So this is a big one. I'm sure you guys have seen the workouts out there, or even the diet pills or products that promise to make a certain area larger, shrink another area, burn off fat from lower abs or love handles and all this. The truth is that you cannot spot reduce fat.
So no matter how hard you try to, the most popular one is for abs, stomach fat. No matter how many crunches you do, you're not going to isolate just that fat content on your stomach. Your body kind of works by taking fat from the entire body when you use it. So you need to do something that's going to really burn a lot of calories to actually pull evenly from the entire body. So unfortunately, the abs tend to be the last spot to show the results just because they tend to have the most fat content.
So again, it's going to be that combination of cardio and strength training for the entire body. No matter what your goals are, the best thing that you can do is focus on developing a well-rounded, strong body everywhere instead of just isolating one muscle group, because that you're going to end up with imbalances and it doesn't really work anyway.
The only way you can really change the shape of your body is by strength training. So if you want to make something larger and you've got some muscle there, then you can train to get that one muscle larger to try to increase that size or change your shape a little bit. But if you're talking about trying to change fat content or bone structure, it's not going to happen.
The third biggest myth out there is that there's one diet and exercise plan that works universally for everyone.
Now, I know that a lot of people try to sell you on one style versus another. Like a lot of yoga people think that yoga is the only thing to do. A lot of kettlebell people think that kettlebell is the only thing to do. Same thing with diets, low carb, high fat, whatever. What it takes is a very, very good combination of every single one of those. With specifically exercise, you've got to do a little bit of everything to be truly fit. So you've got to have a good amount of cardiovascular endurance, you've got to have a good amount of strength, you've got to have a good amount of flexibility. So each one of those things all kind of plays in to give you a little bit of each one of those different factors. Diet is a little bit different.
So the reality is that something really does work better for each individual person, and it does take some trial and error. I know we're still figuring things out all the time, but listen to your body. Pay attention to the exercise you're doing, the food you use to nourish yourself. Pay attention to what makes you feel best, because you can always take advice from someone. You can do all the researching that you can, and that's a great idea. Be skeptical while you're reading and protective of yourself, because there's a lot of people out there trying to sell things, and 99.999% of the time you don't need any of it.
So fitness myth number 2 is that there's one specific style or look that is fit. When it comes down to it, that couldn't be further from the truth.
So as a society, we kind of cram six-packs and like a certain body shape down everyone's throat. So if you don't look a certain way, you must not be fit. And in reality, you can be further from the truth. I mean, there's all different kinds. Fit comes in all different kinds of shapes and sizes, and so does healthy. So just because you don't have a six-pack doesn't mean you're not strong. It doesn't mean that you're not healthy. There's a million other little superficial appearance-related goals that don't indicate that you're healthy. Even a healthy body weight, by the numbers standing on the scale, does not necessarily mean that you're healthy.
So don't let your self-worth or your goal of getting to being fit be only related to how you look, because that is the worst way to measure yourself. It's about what you can do, not what you look like. It's one of our big mantras.
Yeah.
Another one is that there are over 6 billion people in the world, and there are over 6 billion different versions of fit. So don't compare yourself to anyone else, only to yourself.
And the number one biggest myth that we want to bust today is that you need diet supplements or fancy gym equipment to get fit and healthy.
When it comes down to it, what you really need is clean eating and physical activity. And physical activity does not need equipment. You can do everything you need with just body weight.
We have over 350 free full-length workout videos at fitnessblender.com, and a large percentage of them require only your body weight, and you could do it in a small bedroom. So there's no excuse. And the supplements issue is an entirely different thing. Basically, unless you have been instructed specifically by your doctor, don't take anything. And if your doctor tells you to take something, not a bad idea to get a second opinion. But there's a lot of people out there that are trying to tell you that you need these certain things to get fit, and you just don't. So especially in the supplement area, just be critical of your sources. Listen to the person that's talking to you and notice whether they happen to be selling it or not, because I bet most of the time they just happen to have some that they can sell you.
Right.
Just be protective of yourself and your health. And most of the time, keep it simple, stupid when it comes to health. You don't need the supplements and you don't need the fancy gym equipment.
Everything that we've done with our clients for the past decade has been based off of no supplements, clean eating, and physical activity. And we've had fantastic results. Even with the people through fitnessblender.com, that's the same thing we preach there as well, and it's all works. So make sure you reassess a little bit if someone's trying to get you to take a supplement, because it's not worth it 99% of the time. So those are our 5 biggest fitness myths. If you have any of your own, make sure you look at the comment section below on our YouTube videos and let us know what you think. Hey everybody, this is Daniel and Kelly again with fitnessblender.com for another question. This time we're going to be covering types of things you can do while you're traveling to stay in shape.
So a lot of people kind of panic when they're going on either travel for work or even for vacation, because they're worried about maintaining either their strict workout routine or a diet.
And you don't really need to worry about it like that. When you're on vacation, when you're off for business, don't worry about trying to stay in that exact same plan that you've always done. Think of fitness in a little bit different light.
So think about it a little more fluidly. So you can come away from your regular routine, especially if you don't get to travel often. If you're somebody that travels continually for work, then you really need a plan. You need an approach that is going to allow you to kind of maintain those healthy eating and exercise habits while you're out and about. But if you don't travel very often, then you get to go a little bit easier on yourself. You get to let up a little bit.
Get creative. So doing things as simple as walking more often than you normally would, trying to get to wherever you need to go by foot as opposed to taking a taxi.
Yeah,
or
don't waste your time in the gym on a treadmill. Go out and look at the sights. I mean, wherever you're visiting, you won't even know you're working out. You won't even know you're exercising.
Mm-hmm. And even if you do want to get in a real full-blown workout, body weight is perfectly fine. You can do it in your hotel room. You don't even have to go down to the hotel gym.
Yep. Or grab a backpack, grab a bag of books. There's your weight. I mean, get creative.
Yeah, luggage works just fine to do some squats with. So you don't have to worry about trying to get in that same exact routine you always do. Just be a little bit more creative and you'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah. And there's different things, different uncomfortable parts of traveling. If you're sitting in a car or an airport or a plane all day long, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate activity even into that. Like when we go to the airport, we don't sit down on that plane until we absolutely have to. So it's really weird because you go to the airport and everyone's sitting and they're waiting to go get seated. And it's just, I can't sit that long. And it makes you feel like garbage when you do. I mean, your circulation slows, your energy levels are going to plummet, your digestion's probably going to go out of whack. I mean, when we go to the airport, we just walk until we have to get on the plane.
You know when your plane's going to board, so you just do some laps.
Yep.
You know, it burns calories. It also makes you feel a lot better for the plane ride. It also makes you feel a lot better once you get off the plane. Moving those legs around a little bit, getting that blood flowing a little bit again will do wonders for getting rid of things like jet lag.
Yeah. So the other half of the equation of feeling great while you're traveling has to do with good nutrition.
Now, I'm sure you already know the feeling of when you eat really, really bad food for too long, or especially while you're traveling, it tends to affect you even that much more. So, when you're traveling, nutrition can be very, very important. And the biggest thing you can the biggest rule you can go by is making sure you're getting as much fresh fruit and vegetable content in as you can.
So avoiding as much as you can the packaged foods, the overly processed foods, those are the kinds of things that tend to be very high in sodium. And especially if you're kind of doing that frequently during every meal and during your snack times, you're going to start to feel it really quickly. You're going to start to feel like garbage, like overly tired, no energy. Again, digestion, your skin, the works. I mean, you're going to start to feel pretty lousy pretty quickly. So it's important to try to maintain some kind of healthy diet. At least, you can have your cheat meals and even your cheat days if you want to, but come back to maintain that solid base of good nutrition as often as you can. So part of the fun while you're traveling is trying lots of new foods and new restaurants and all kinds of fun new plates, and you can still do that. Just try to pick ones most often that orient around those fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean meats, clean, minimally processed food. And there's a lot of good restaurants that do that now, so it's not that hard to find it anymore.
Right. Just keep in mind that even though you might go to a restaurant that even has a really good reputation for good food, or you go to one that has a reputation for not so good food, the big thing you can do to kind of clean things up a little bit more for yourself is modify the menu item. Mm-hmm. So whatever.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, I mean, most restaurants, especially nowadays, are more than willing to accommodate. So you just have to get used to saying, oh, well, can I have this on the side? Or do you have a different option for this? Or can I substitute out this for something else? And even if you have to pay a little bit more, it's going to help you out a lot in the long run as far as your overall health and how you feel while traveling.
Yeah, and you don't have to sacrifice taste to get that the nutritional value of a meal. So just get creative, and you can try new things, but try to, like I said, it should always come back to those healthy basics.
Eat clean, drink lots of water. So the last thing I want to cover is that if you are entering into any point where you're trying to drop some weight, these are our best suggestions for getting there.
So first, I would say to make your ultimate goal, your ultimate focus on just plain health. I don't care what you think you want your legs to look like by the time you're done, or how much belly fat you want to lose, or how much muscle you want to gain even. Just make it about good health, a healthy heart, a strong body, and naturally your appearance will start to follow, and it will ultimately end up the way you think you want or close to it, and you're going to feel great.
That's one thing that people don't quite realize is if you train to be fit, then your body will look fit. If you train to be skinny, you might not necessarily get the body you want at the same time.
And it's definitely not necessarily healthy either.
Yeah. You might have a bunch of different gaps in as far as muscle strength or flexibility or endurance in different parts of your body because of the types of things you're doing. So if you're focusing on trying to give your body a full body makeover as far as overall fitness goes, as far as what you can do, your body will follow along as far as dropping fat content, becoming more muscular, better definition, better shape, all those kinds of things.
I think another good tip is to watch your body, your self-talk.
Yes.
The way you are talking to yourself about your body is a big deal. And especially if you have kids, this is not just for you, because your little ones are little sponges and they soak up everything, and they hear the way that you're talking about your body, and ultimately they're going to grow up and they're going to tell themselves the same thing about theirs. And honestly, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, to constantly be tearing down their bodies and wishing they could change this, and they hate that, and being ashamed of this, all these different things. So not only for yourself, but for the people around you, watch the way that you talk about your body.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest saboteurs of success is when it comes to getting fit or losing weight is yourself when it comes down to it. I mean, you're 90% of what you hear because you're always telling yourself or thinking things through. So if you're always negative about, oh, well, I accidentally ate a Twinkie yesterday, so I guess, I might as well just go ahead and eat this entire chocolate cake today. Yeah. Those kinds of things are, mess ups happen, Diet flubs happen from time to time. They don't necessarily even have to be a neutral thing. They can even be a positive thing. You just have to remind yourself that some mistakes can be made, and it's perfectly fine. Just get right back on it the next day. There's no big deal when it comes to not following it 100% every single time as far as your fitness plan or your diet plan.
Another thing that's helpful is to set goals, small, realistic, attainable goals. So they can lead to something larger if you like, but to break them down into things weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, so that you're not in this stretch where like 6 months out you've got this goal, but you don't get any kind of reward or recognition that you're on your way to your goal 6 months out. I mean, at month 1 even, let alone month 3 and 4 and 5, you're just going to feel like, well, geez, it's still so far away.
Right.
It's still such this insurmountable task for you in your mind, you know? So attainable goals is a big deal.
So for example, if you have, say, 20 or 30 pounds to lose, your goal shouldn't be, when I hit that 30-pound mark, lost. That will take so much time to get there that your motivation will falter. So if you do something instead of, number 1 goal is get in a workout today. Bam, you got it, you're done. So move on to the next one. Okay, next goal is I get 3 workouts done in a single week. Bam, got that one done. Then you start adding it on more. Okay, I got 3 last time, let's try 4 this time. And I'm going to throw in a little extra workout in there on one of those days as well. So I'm going to double up on one of those days just for fun. And you kind of just slowly gain on that. And then you can do things like, oh, well, I want to be able to do 5 push-ups. So you start with a half push-up off of your knees, and you do 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those. And then you start trying to get into the harder push-ups, doing a full push-up off your toes. And you just kind of snowball effect. So every single time you hit one of those little goals, it gives you that little extra bump to get to the next one. So if you have this really long gap in between, if you're going for the end goal and that's the only one you're focusing on, you'll lose your momentum so quickly. So you need to have those little goals in between to kind of keep you moving, keep you motivated to, oh, hey, I have changed. Oh, hey, I have actually made a lot of progress, as opposed to, well, I'm not where I need to be.
Right.
You know? So very, very important to, like Kelly said, set those small intermittent goals, as well as watching that negative self-talk.
It's also important to respect your body enough that you start in an appropriate place. So if you haven't worked out for years, or you're really not familiar with exercise, then you don't want to jump into high-intensity interval training. Like we said before, there's nothing good about puking during a workout. That's not normal, it's not healthy, and it's not admirable. And people like to make it seem like, well, if you're not doing that, you're not working out hard enough. And that's so silly, and it's harmful. So you don't want to turn exercise into an unpleasant or dreaded experience. You want to enjoy it. It's supposed to make you feel fantastic. Sometimes there are points of discomfort, and that's okay, but there's a range. You should never push yourself to the point where you feel sick. Respect your body. Find a good starting place that is going to help you build, instead of like just go charging out of the gate and then fall off the wagon because it's not fun and because it hurts. So starting in an appropriate place is very important.
So a lot of these things have been related to mental and physical responses to any kind of physical activity or goal setting. So the last one, specifically with weight loss, is going to be related to overall diet. So this one is another one where you've got to really focus on your diet. It's not the 90% diet and 10% fitness. That is not how it works. It's definitely a 50-50 thing. So you've got to make sure that you are working from both ends. If you just try to do one over the other, you're never going to get there. So make sure you clean up your diet. The best thing we can ever promote is eat clean, eat fresh, and drink lots of water.
And get moving. Stay moving.
Yeah.
Like he said, it's not a 90-10. People like to break it apart. I think people are lazy. They want to do one, but not the other. They want the simplest means to get to that end goal. But you have to embrace both if you want a healthy body.
It should not be a punishment. Your workout shouldn't be a punishment. Your diet shouldn't be a punishment. It should be something that you enjoy doing.
And it's a privilege.
And it's a privilege to be able to go out there and do it. You should feel good that you can. That even the smallest things of being able to go out for a walk. We're not talking about going out and squatting 550 pounds. We're talking about just going out for a simple walk. You should be happy that your legs function for you that way. You should be happy that you have the opportunity to go do it and enjoy being outside and all those kinds of things. So if you find the joy in each one of those little things you do for your physical activity, you're going to be much more likely to stick with it. You're going to be much more likely to have a healthy relationship with it for now and for the rest of your life. Same thing goes for overall diet. You've got to think about it positively. When you, if you catch yourself going into those, oh no, I've done something wrong or I've eaten something wrong, stop yourself. Doesn't matter. Take care of it the next day.
So that's it for our video today. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you at fitnessblender.com for hundreds of free full-length workout videos and lots more health information.
Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Get it together, man.
Okay. Business or vacations or that kind of thing. So,
What? You did a good job. I don't
working with me.
even like you.
That's so fun.
No.
And I'm not even a little bit controlling at all.
You're making my back.
I'm not. I'm really creative. I'm here with another something. Hey everybody. You're getting like a death grip on my hand. People hate air. So myth number 2 is that there's one specific body tape. Talking about
Yes, you do. Stop.
He said blah, blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah.
about another more for you for sure.
Let's debunk the top 5 fitness myths.
Or at least the fat.
Did you really do the same thing? Or are you making fun of me?
I was making fun of you.
Sometimes to save time, I shave off letters from my words. The thing that we are going to tackle today is busting the 5 biggest fitness myths out there. So the first thing, we're busting the top 5. It's like my lips are in a fight.
What do you want me to say?
Fine, I'll do it.
Okay, sounds
You
good.
can't wrap your small man brain around it.
Yes, let's see if your
I've heard they're the
large.
size of a peanut.
Let's see if your large woman brain can handle it. Go ahead.
Watch me.
Fitness.
Hey, shut up. That's a low. It's a low blow.
My chakras feel so aligned right now. What? Yeah, you want to stop this and start?
Nope, you gotta go. Just
Okay.
push.
All right.
No.